Hey everybody, Donnie here, and I kind of wanted to talk about a certain book. I've noticed that with this book, along with Woman Down by, Colleen Hoover, I actually was listening to quite a few audiobooks, and one such audiobook is a book called The Shots You Take by Rachel Reid. If you guys don't know, Rachel Reid has been known for a TV show adaptation of her book series called um, it was um, it was called Heated Rivalry. I didn't get the chance to listen to the book series just yet, so that might be I might be doing that pretty soon and do a book review out of that. But for now, I just actually did one of her standalone books called The Shots You Take by Rachel Reid, and I have it right here. As you guys could tell, I'm not sure if you guys could see. Yeah, you can. Rated it 4 out of 5 stars. And if you guys don't want to read this entire intro, I can actually read it for you. It says, after moving back to his hometown 10 years ago, Riley Tuck thought he had left his Major League Hockey career and his broken heart far behind. But when an unexpected tragedy strikes, it brings ex-teammate and former best friend with benefits, Adam Shepard, back into his life. Coming to a small town of Avery River, Nova Scotia, might have been a mistake. Adam's not sure he'll ever win back Riley's trust after the way they left things. And the attention he's getting as a huge hockey star isn't exactly helping. Yet the chemistry that crackles between them is undeniable, even now. As Adam helps Riley navigate his grief, long buried feelings start to resurface. But they'll have to square off with their complicated past if they're going to have a real shot at a new beginning. So if you guys haven't heard the story, but Goodreads has already that little summary. So basically, roughly 10 years ago, Riley moved back into his hometown of Nova Scotia, and he up until recently where the book starts, uh he was working with his father Harvey in a sports shop, and during that time, uh Riley also spent time remodeling his home. This is because around roughly 20 years prior to him being at this place where the book starts off, he was a professional hockey player for a team, I think in Toronto. I'm not sure what the team name was because I'm not really familiar with hockey all that much. I've only ever been familiar with either soccer, football, or um, basketball. Personal experience. I grew up with those, mainly with those sports in mind. Um, he used to be in the same team as Adam. Now, Adam, he was friends with for several years. Several years. Ever since they were middle school students. They were playing the same hockey team together. Yet somehow over time their friendship turned into friends with benefits. And this kind of complicated things because Riley had admitted to his family that he was in fact gay. In this case, though, it was harder for Adam to understand what his preference was or his orientation was. This was simply because even though um, he really liked Riley, he only thought of Riley as a friend with like friend that was there for convenience. Like Adam saw Riley as somebody that, oh yeah, no, he's there, and then secretly, oh yeah, no, he's a fuck buddy because like there's they're traveling a lot together, so of course they gotta get their pleasure somehow, right? Which is kind of crazy, crazy concept, right? I wouldn't have thought of that, right? because if I wanted to have somebody who is a friends with benefits or a simple, like fuck buddy, excuse my language, I would have simply told this person like, hey, we're just fuck buddies. But no, I think that Adam kind of like had a hard time kind of explaining this to Riley, and Riley was like, okay, what are we? Because it feels like you're leading me on. I'm really into you. Let's try to figure this out. Yeah, no. Riley gave Adam so many chances to kind of like explain to him that like, hey, what are we? What are we to each other? And this kind of led to a huge falling out. And I like how I kind of like how Rachel Reid, who is the author of the book, switch kind of like back and forth between the past and the present to kind of understand where the why we got to the point where we have. And like it's kind of similar to how Ninth House by Lee Bardugo had done. I want to reread that book to actually, talk about it with you guys in a future book review video. I'm not sure about right now, you know, but it was kind of interesting how Rachel Reid actually did this because it was something that I don't think many authors really do, so to speak. Because like I don't like outside of Rachel Reid, I only can think of Lee Bardugo that does it, but like I could be wrong. There might be much more authors that do this than just her. That I could think off the top of my head. I think um there's another author that did this kind of as a memoir to like her younger sister. I forgot her name. Like I'll talk about it in a future video, like do kind of like a book review for that book, and then we can go into it and talk about it. So, because that book was amazing when I read it for like a literature class. But back onto the topic of this of this book, actually, so to speak. So, um, you know, at that point, Riley ends up getting switched or traded to a pro NHL team in the US, and they've been separated for a couple years. And then at some point around 10 years prior to like the present day, Riley ends up retiring from the NHL. It was mainly because he couldn't control his temperament. He was in a wave of depression. There was also the fact that he had got received a few concussions, and he felt like it was his time. And he was severe alcoholic, and he just was like, you know what, I'm gonna retire, move back to Nova Scotia, and try to spend my days helping my dad out with his sports shop there, and also remodeling a house and picking up a hobby. And that's exactly what he did. He bought a rundown home that he remodeled himself. He picked up gardening, and he also helped out his father, whose name is Harvey Tuck, in his sports shop until fast forward to present day, he passes away all of a sudden. And that is when, like, after several years of Adam and Riley not speaking to each other, Adam decides to show up and give his condolences. Riley gets mad at him, and Adam is trying so hard for over the next day or so to kind of fix the friendship, at least try to like mend everything. And Maggie is on the side of Adam, where she's trying to give him support of like at least try a little harder to like try to fix this relationship, because like this part of the reason as to why this had happened is something that of a falling out, whatever the reason the falling out was, and it was just something that I think could have worked worked out if Adam wasn't confused back like years prior, like confused about his orientation, which he later found out while he was married to Maggie, um, that he was gay. It was crazy, crazy. And Lindsay was also was like was telling Riley, you should try to listen to him, like hear him out, try to understand, like see like what he wants. Just give him a lending, like see what he's trying to talk to you and try to understand where he's at and all that stuff. And so Riley's like, okay, I'm gonna try not to get pissed off at him. And he's trying to tolerate Adam because like Riley is like thinking, oh, Adam only here to get you know satisfied in a way, intimately. And um Adam is just there to kind of like try to talk to him and then try to also be like, hey, like I'm not just here to have another one night stand. I'm here to try to mend our friendship and possibly see where this goes on, or like what else this will go for moving forward, because at some point in time we left off at the wrong foot. We left off me being confused, you wanting me to get with you instead of getting with my now ex-wife. And mind you, Riley still thinks Adam's married at this point. But then somebody had actually came up to Adam and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry that of your for your divorce. I didn't like when I heard about it. I felt so sorry for you." And that's how Riley found out. Like, hey, Adam's divorced, huh? And so he goes to make some dinner plans with Darren, who is someone who with whom Riley had a fling with back in high school. But then they end up being friends. Darren, he got married to another guy, and like they hang out like once in a while. And Darren's like, hey, look, like you could try to bring this guy because like he sounds like an asshole. Not too long afterwards, um Riley brings Adam to like a dinner because like at this point we're seeing Riley and Adam starting to like fix their issues and try to like have these arguments where like they're working on something, they're mending their relationship or friendship by talking to each other in a way where it's like they're getting testy with each other, feisty with each other. And Riley's like, okay, Adam, do you want to come before you leave? Do you want to, like, before you leave back to Toronto to get your shoulder fixed, do you mind coming with me to this dinner? Um, Darren's one of my friends. You met him at the farmer's market. Can you come with me to, like, just hang out and have a nice time in dinner? And they come in. They're having a fun time, and then Darren pulls Riley aside, and he's like, "You two could possibly be a thing. You guys are really nice. Look really good together." And he was like, "Are you sure? Like just like a few days prior, you didn't like this dude, based off like what I was telling you." And he was like, "Oh, pish posh, like that was in the past. The way you look at him, the way you speak about him, ugh, the way you speak to him is fascinating. It's so like I could tell that you two really love each other, right? Really love each other." And Riley's like, "Huh, okay." And like Darren's even telling Riley like, "Hey, I see the way Adam looks at you, cause boy, get with him already. Try to like get with him, yeah." right? And later that night, oh, it gets really freaky. Oh, I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but like as far as I know, they left. Adam left to go back to Toronto to get his shoulder checked on good terms, so to speak. And, um, Adam ends up traveling to actually Riley ends up traveling to Adam. Got the names uh names mixed up a little bit there. So Riley travels to Toronto to see Adam to make sure that like Adam has somebody that can take care of him while he's recovering from surgery. And over the next couple like I guess couple weeks or so, um Riley is making sure that Adam does his physical therapy, he's recovering well and all that stuff. And in due time, Adam does make a full recovery. And Riley travels back to Nova Scotia and he's watching a game, a hockey game in like he's watching a hockey game of like the same team that they both rookied at. And he sees Adam there and he's like and he was like, "Oh shit." And then Adam texts Riley some stuff and I'm just like, "Ooh." And then you see the camera watching Adam just smile as he's texting. And I'm like, boy, if you don't get with him super fast. And like then there's some sort of like time skip beats of like 5 years. And Riley and Adam are married. Like they've been married for like a year or two already. And Riley, like Adam moves to Nova Scotia with Riley. And like Adam has like a ghostwriter that helped him write a book about his life, like kind of like a sort of um I think like a biography, I would say, or a memoir of some sort. And like he just came back from a book tour, and like everything's all fine and dandy now. Like they're finally happy. Adam and Riley are finally happy together with Lucky, um Adam's kids are coming there to visit whenever they can and all that stuff. And it's just to me it was kind of like a book that just felt great. It was like interesting. It's like it was all lovey dovey. It was kind of like a falling out um that ended up working itself out. And it just felt great. Now, the reason as to why I gave it 4 out of 5 stars was because I felt like, despite it being a pretty long, like an audiobook that had like about, I would say like somewhere around 9 hours that I listened through, I felt that it it was going a little bit too fast in my mind. Like it felt like that was a little too quick for both of them to fix their problems. And like I understand the amount of intimate scenes that they had. It felt like something that I don't know. I mean, like for me it was more so like there was something that was missing that I couldn't quite put my finger on. It just like was there like I was thinking, was there a little bit a little bit too much a little bit too much intimate scenes? Was there not enough like world building? Was it going a little bit too fast? I wasn't sure because it was one of those things where it was good. I'm not gonna lie. I just don't. I just wish like I could understand um why like what his parent, like what Adam's parents' reaction was, like their specific reaction was when they found out that he was gay. Like I wanted to know more. Like were like how homophobic were they? Along with um Adam's brother. Like how homophobic were they? Cuz like I like I feel like they didn't I feel like Rachel Reid didn't go into that enough. I think and I think for the reason was this wasn't a book about Adam's family. It was more so Adam helping Riley out of him grieving for his father, who is Harvey Tuck, and Adam trying to fix the fractured friendship that turned into a relationship that happened because Adam was simply confused and had a hard time believing that he was gay. That he was, in fact, gay this entire time. And he just couldn't properly understand it. Um, I think, having, like, I feel like Lindsay could have explained how she felt to, like, they should have brought in, like, Lindsay's feelings about her grief with her father as well, and also like kind of I felt like there should have been like a little bit more world building. Like there was parts where there could have been a little bit more of it, more of certain things, or a little bit more details about certain people that I didn't quite get. But other than that, I think my thought process was this was a really good book. Was it something that could have been built a little bit better? Perhaps. But overall, I think it was a really like it was a book that felt very, you know, you could tell like 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 the mental state that Riley had to go through was going through while he was grieving his father. You could tell how much Adam was trying to kind of help him out while also trying to fix their like their friendship after and even eventual relationship like I said earlier with um Riley, because Riley was somebody that was trying to kind of figure like what can he do now. His father passed away. Like I need to like I could tell like how much Harvey Tuck was to Riley and Lindsay, like they're his children, and how much Harvey Tuck meant to Adam for just being there when his own parents weren't. And it was like Adam appreciated Harvey even though Harvey wasn't his dad, and he also understood that Riley was kind of having a hard time handling this sort of situation, and I think it was more just, it was more just like even though it was written really well, it just felt like there was that little something that was just missing that I can't quite place my like I said, like I can't quite place my finger on, like even though I'm putting my finger on my nose. And I think that other than that, like that little missing piece that I like it kind of itching in the back of my head, uh I think it was really good overall, to be honest. Like I don't have like much to complain about, I don't think I have really much to complain about other than like the workings of like how society how like normal this relationship is despite it being a same-sex relationship. Um just regardless of whether like it's same sex or opposite sex relationships are the same throughout. It's just, people try to kind of demonize it. As we see in the case where Adam is no longer speaking to his parents or his brother because they don't agree that they don't think that he should be gay. They don't support his side of being gay overall. And it's just crazy. It's a crazy world we live in right now because this does happen. And as someone who is bisexual and demisexual, I've had this experience pretty well. And where it's like, you know, I've seen it happen. I've had it happen to me myself a little bit, and not as bad as Adam, but it was also something that kind of hit a little bit close to home too, but in a different way, you know, in a different way in its entirety, right? And there's a line um that a lot of people use, which is the blood is thicker than the womb. The blood is thicker than water. But what they don't understand is that if you expand it, it's actually the line goes, the blood of thy womb, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water by the womb or something like that. It was like, I can't remember it. Let me look at this up. I just looked it up. It's actually the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. So yeah, I was thinking that it was that, but I wasn't too sure. Um, the meaning of that is apparently it different. It's different based off of where of the bonds you choose. So for example, the blood of like covenant, it could mean like the blood of the people that you bond with is thicker than the water of the womb, which is your relationship with your family. So no matter you might not choose your family, but you can always choose the people that you can surround yourself with. And I feel like this is something that Adam had chosen to do. And, everybody around him, other than his parents and sibling, of course, have all supported him throughout this his journey of being a gay man and being with Riley. And Riley got lucky with, his parents and his sister, understanding and supporting him for being a gay man. And he built up his own support system with the LGBTQ community in this town in Nova Scotia. Uh, and for a lot longer than Adam did, but luckily Riley was there for Adam when Adam basically did um had only his own family that he created with Maggie, who is his ex-wife. Um and kind of just the kind of he Adam it didn't take Adam too long to kind of build up a support system with Riley's help to eventually being able to be happy finally, and being having someone on his side when he felt like his own system or his own support system through his family had essentially failed him. And this was actually pretty great, so to speak, and I don't think I can actually ever truly hate on hate on Adam for trying and Riley for helping him out. And after they squashed their beef and actually got into a relationship and eventually got married and stuff. So it was a great ending. I like how these books so far either really got me thinking about the ups and downs of real life situations. And like, even though with Woman Down, I gave it 2 stars. I, it literally had got me thinking about, like, hey, how can we understand, like, what can we do to create boundaries within this, by reading this book. And like, even with the shots you take, it also kind of gave me a different ideology of boundaries in a way. Like, I know that these books are like completely fictional so far, but like, in a way it's kind of like taught me a little bit of something, in my own way of what to read for boundaries. And that was something that like I don't think anybody else could have taught me, other than like the friends that I've actually built over the years. Like, with friends and books alike, I've actually learned a little bit of nuance that I never knew I would have thought of when coming into doing these book reviews. It really made me think differently. How like like, what were the boundaries within these books? Like, how could have it been handled differently? And I think, based off of everything that has situated and handled down, I think, in the end, Riley and Adam had their, happy ending. And I think that is something that is worthwhile. They worked through their problems, they worked through their situations, and in the end, they were able to, um, have a happy relationship. Like, they ended up getting married, and that's all I can really ask for in the end. So, yeah. So anyway, um, I'm gonna put the spoiler warning on the title, so hopefully people can understand it, because I forgot. I don't think I remember telling people, like, hey, there's gonna be spoilers in this book, in this book review as well. But hopefully I can let people know. So yeah, I hope you guys like, subscribe, comment. If you guys want to shop for anything crochet or candle related, I will put my website down below, along with my business channel vlog of how long it takes to prep all the stuff for different events. So just in case, if you are looking into it, everything is going to be in the description down below, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. I know this not as long as the first video was, but I try my best to kind of make it at least half an hour long, so yeah. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your time. I hope you guys like, subscribe, and comment, like I said again earlier, and I'll see you guys in the next video, which is going to be kind of like a prequel novella. Yeah. That's the next book I got. So anyway, see you guys in next week's video. Bye bye. Bye bye.